what you're able to say and communicate to a potential audience of new customers that you want to bring in. And it's also about communicating with your peers in your industry. And by engaging in that wider dialogue with what's going on now, that's happening both locally as well as around the world, no matter what your business's size, you're going to be able to achieve a number of things. And this is going to be true as you're small and as you grow and at every stage in between. You're going to be able to build a reputation for your brand. You're going to be able to increase trust in your business and in your brand. You're going to be able to make yourself more accessible and more transparent to your customers and your clients. You're going to be able to make yourself more personable and more relatable to the actual human beings who are your current customers and your future customers. And you're going to be able to connect with your peers, your mentors, and potential mentors in your industry. And that both builds bridges and makes valuable connections and positions you to be a thought leader in your industry. And building that trust and that reputation is extremely valuable on all those fronts. And social media offers an unprecedented way of going direct to your customers and doing just that. And you can reach them no matter where they are, no matter what time zone they're in, and you can do it at a much lower cost and at a higher efficiency than a lot of the older traditional methods of reaching them. So how do you get there? The first step always has to be listening. If you're not on Twitter, you should get there. If you're not on Facebook, you should get there. Because your customers are there and they're talking about your company, and if you're not paying attention, you're not serving their needs. And your competitors are there too, and increasingly they're going to be there more and more. And if you're not there, they're getting an advantage over you. And if you're the one leading the charge at your company and you don't really know the lay of the land very well, it's wise to create a personal account first and sort of get a feel for the culture and dynamics of each network, which tend to be very different, before you dive in a big way with your business. And from there, there's no real one-size-fits-all approach to how your business is going to leverage social media. And how you're going to plug into that conversation is going to depend on a number of factors, including your goals, your needs, and the resources that you have available. You're going to want to do some research into how other companies, especially other companies in your industry, are leveraging these tools and getting involved in social media. You're going to want to follow your competitors on Twitter and Facebook. Look at how they're using these tools to connect with their audience and connect with their potential audience. You're going to want to think about how you can use this direct communication to improve your business's relationship with its customers. Do a Twitter search for your company's name. Do a Twitter search for some of your products and some of your services and find out what your customers are saying about you. If they already love your brand and they're saying good things, if you give them a public @reply, it's a public acknowledgement, and it's a very small way to make a very big difference in that customer's loyalty to your business over time. And if they're having problems with your brand or problems with any of your services, Twitter can make a powerful, direct, and much more engaging and human approach to customer support. And most consumers have come to regard customer support as a very painful experience. I mean, what's the typical scenario? You dial into a call center somewhere you don't even know, you're navigating confusing and annoying numerical menu systems. And this is a way to really get a direct involvement with your customer and reach out right to them. And not only, when you address a complaint from your customer, not only are they hopefully going to get their issue solved, but they're also going to get this sense of delight that you've essentially inverted the typical customer support paradigm. You've actually reached out to them instead of them having to jump through insane hoops to reach you. And in terms of tools, you're going to want to start to look at a number of awesome tools that are coming out to help you manage your business's social media experience. And also start to get some metrics back about how effective your campaign is, what's working, what's not working, what you might want to do more of, what you might want to do less of. And there are two very popular Twitter services for small businesses to help manage a business Twitter account. And those are CoTweet and Hootsuite. And you can think of them essentially as customer relationship management tools for Twitter. And both services are free, and they feature a number of similar functions, which lets you manage multiple Twitter accounts, lets multiple individual users access a single business account, You can search for keywords and monitor saved searches over time. You can get message notifications back based on specific criteria, and a whole lot more. And which service is going to be right for your business is going to depend on the deeper levels of functionality you might need. But since they're both free tools, it's worth checking out both of them and seeing which one is going to serve your needs better. In an overall generalization, CodeTweet tends to be a little bit more focused on a friendly user interface and lacks a little bit of the statistical depth underneath the hood, while Hootsuite has a lot of deep statistics but is geared more towards people who are highly technically proficient users. So you're going to want to consider who's going to actually be using the tools and what they're going to need to do with them when you're choosing between the two platforms. And beyond those, thanks to Twitter's open API that lets third-party independent developers build applications on top of Twitter and that interface with Twitter and access its data, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of tools out there to help you do various things like measure your influence on Twitter, your brand's influence on Twitter, get back almost any kind of statistic that you need, get specific alerts based on incoming messages from particular users or based on matching particular search query terms, and accessing Twitter from your mobile device, which, as we know, mobile, you have to be there. And no matter what smartphone platform you're on, there's a full-featured Twitter client to get you access to Twitter at all times on the go. And you can even integrate with your productivity software with applications like Evernote, leveraging Twitter to be able to let you note-take directly in through Twitter. You want to do some research and find out which of these tools are going to make the most sense and be most valuable to your business. And don't be afraid to experiment with the tools, especially considering there are new and powerful third-party tools coming available all the time. And by way of shameless plug, a great starting point for your research might be Mashable's own Twitter guidebook, which you can find at mashable.com/guidebook/Twitter.
That was a shameless plug.
Shameless plug alert. And my second shameless plug is for our Facebook guidebook, which you can find at mashable.com/guidebook/Facebook. And there you can find a number of tips and tricks for helping to create an awesome brand presence on Facebook, including an entire section specifically devoted to using Facebook for your business. As far as other social media tools that are important for the small business to be aware of, high on the list would be LinkedIn, which is quickly emerging as one of the premier online destinations for finding and making new business connections, as well as a great platform for having discussions in your industry. LinkedIn groups are a powerful way to connect with like-minded people in your industry and generate valuable leads from everything from potential partners to business ideas to finding great talent to help fill out your staff and grow your business. They also recently added a number of new features to their search functionality that makes setting up complex and deep queries very easy to do, and that kind of level of depth of information can be a timely and valuable resource for building your business. Another great service for small businesses, particularly local businesses and businesses with storefronts, is Yelp, where you can create your own listing with all the information that your customers need to find you, and they can rate your business and leave feedback on their experience with you. And generating consistently high ratings and positive comments can mean all the difference in the world to a new potential customer who has to compare your business to your competitors. And lastly, I just wanted to mention the old standby that's getting a little bit easy to take for granted, which is your company's blog. Your blog is a great tool for getting longer form information out to your customers about your company, about new products and services, about any events or contests that you're having, new offerings, any charities that you support, and it's also a great way to engage directly with your customers in a way that's public and accessible. It can also be a great way to differentiate yourself from your competitors by allowing you to showcase some of your business's personality and its values. I look to companies like Zappos as being great examples of this done really well, with their very frequently updated blog, often featuring videos of the staff and showcasing their staff culture and the company values. And the final thought I want to leave you with is just not to be afraid to join this conversation. It can be rewarding for your business financially, but it can also go beyond that and be valuable for you spiritually and emotionally as a person, for your staff, and for your customers as well. and I think we're going to